Tasha Renee. So let's just get into it, shall we? Y'all, listen. What's up, Aunt Natty? I have the nerve to be coming on here this daggone late at night. I'm so sorry, y'all. But listen, I'm not trying to be a part of the cuts, okay? It's a lot of cuts going on out here with the government and all that. I don't need y'all cutting me because I've been doing way too much of me and not clicking my button, okay? I'm so sorry, y'all. Listen. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I got a lot of personal stuff going on right now. I got to bust my tail at work right now because I ain't playing with the people. Not playing with the people. Okay. So I got to make time for my YouTube channel now. So I said, this is the only time I have. I'm gonna get my tail on here because the people gonna think I done disappeared, child. They gonna think I disappeared. I'm still here, y'all. I ain't going nowhere. We about to get back consistent because I think I done wrap some things up. But anyway, anywho, thank y'all for joining me. Thank y'all for sticking with me through my trials and tribulations of in and out because it happens. Everybody need a little bit of a break, maybe. Okay, so I took mine. Here we go. So y'all, let's talk about the Real Housewives of Potomac, okay? I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all the real deal and the truth about the whole thing. It was boring. The part 2 of the reunion was boring, okay? We could have summed up this entire boring season in 2 episodes. 2 episodes. We do not need a 3-part reunion for this dull ass season, okay? Montrez Jones says, "Hey Shay and y'all, what's up? What's up? Thank you for joining." Aunt Natty says, "I was patiently waiting on you." Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. Listen, your girl been lifing. But I did manage to take a little quick getaway this weekend. I went to the Poconos with my family, with some of my friends, and we went snow tubing. Child, I'm too old to be doing that, but we had a good old time. It was fun. But y'all, this reunion part 2, again, why? Why are we having 3 reunions? Like a 3-part reunion. We don't need it. That whole stuff with TJ and all of that, they should have moved that right on up. And we should have just went on, had the men come out halfway through the episode. Go ahead, easy peasy, apple squeezy. Go on, get on rid of this. This season is done. Finito. Okay, we're done. So anyway, moving right along, we started back off where Mia is in her dressing room crying her eyes out, faking until she make it, and she's not making it this time because the ladies are tired of her and her BS. They're basically calling her out on her stuff, saying you, and like I told y'all, Mia, Gordon, and ink, blot, pencil, whatever you want to call them this week is all in on it. Okay. They are doing whatever they need to do to make themselves look like imbeciles on TV so that Mia can keep this check. Mia is breaking them off a little piece of that funk. Okay. Gordon and ink, pencil, eraser, chalk, pen, whatever you want to call them this week. She is giving him a check, in my opinion. So Mia she's in her room. Andy comes back there to check on her, and he says, "Oh, now I know who has my dressing room." First of all, Andy, if you wanted that dressing room, you would have had it. Let's be very clear. Mia wouldn't have had no huge dressing room. I think that Andy and them really thought that Mia was going to bring it this season. Like, I really feel like they looked at Mia as the one that was holding the show up, because one, you got Giselle that ain't doing shit. You got Karen that's funny, but then she wasn't really being honest about what happened with her in this DUI situation. Then you have everybody else on the show. Ashley that's never getting divorced, but she finally got divorced, but they ain't believe it. Stacy, brand new. Kiana, we don't know what type of story she was going to give. This Jossie girl, she was supposed to be main cast, but then ended up becoming a friend because she wasn't really giving all that it needed to give. And Wendy, she just turned 40. That's it. Wendy is not giving a whole bunch of negativity. She's going to be the housewife that has the positive marriage. Somebody got to have one. Okay. So the season was really blah. They thought that the Mia drama was going to be the stuff that was going to carry it through, but then you realize it was fake. It was all a dream. She used to read Word Up magazine. It was fake. Okay. It's all fake. So moving on. She ends up coming back out because she realizes, let me stay at least halfway through, because then I did show up. Maybe they'll still give me my check. I can't be leaving too early. That's a little too obvious. So Andy talks to her, says, don't let them gas you up. It's okay. Just own it and move on. Andy comes back out with his Starbucks cup in tow and sits down and talks to the ladies. So the ladies, they go into G&A, which is Giselle and Ashley's whatever brand. I don't know what Giselle and Ashley are doing with this business. Obviously, they're not selling anything. They're not selling any of their leisure, athleisure products anymore. I don't know what Giselle and Ashley are doing. They are pretty much sitting on the stage wasting our time with this business. Now the business has evolved into some charity efforts. I don't know, whatever. So moving on, they get to talking about that, and then they get to talking about Ashley's dude and Namza, which is the dude that Giselle was messing with. First of all, I felt like Ashley had a lot of balls to say to Wendy, oh yeah, and Josh felt some type of way because you were making fun of him, calling him Jack Harlow and calling him out of his names. Like his friends were really, they felt disrespected. Like she was looking at Wendy like Wendy was supposed to grovel for her affection. And Wendy was like, bitch, what? And I don't give a shit about what the fuck they saying about what the hell I said about him. And girl, you was talking shit about my husband. You the one brought it on the show, truth be told, about this whole fake stuff about my husband sleeping with some fake coworker. You are the one that did that. So I don't give two shits about this little fluffy head boy that you dating. You can kiss my ass, so what, and scratch your ass and get glad. Because girl, what? Ashley, did you really think that you was about to intimidate Wendy? I would have did the same thing. Ashley would have came to me and said, and you know what? Jack Harlow, yeah, that is low. You calling him names, like he was really upset about that. And I'd have been like, girl, okay, the fuck you want me to do? I don't give a shit. I would have said that right to her face. And Ashley looked at Wendy like she was like, you're not even mad? Like, you don't want to grovel? You're not pressed to be my friend? Wendy was like, girl, Ashley, sit over there and shut the fuck up. Don't nobody care. So moving on. Giselle was like, yeah, he's obsessed with Ashley, and Nams and I are still talking. And Ashley was like, yeah, me and Josh are not really talking as much. We feel like we need to take a break. Do you feel like you need to take a break, or are you taking a break because your family say he called you too much? Or is there a clause where you can't get your money right away because with this divorce, if your ex-husband think you dating somebody already? I don't know. I feel like Ashley playing games with us in some type of way. Natty says, well, they did eat Mia's at lying ass up. They sure did, and they should have. Because I'm sick of Mia and her lies. She always want to, and the ladies were right. Mia does this thing where she sits there and cries, and she just acts so upset so that people skip on down the road past her. No, we're going to sit right here at the stop sign. The light is red. We're going to deal with you and your bullshit. That's what we're going to do. And your little cockamamie tears is not going to help nobody. Not never. Not you. So moving on, they get past Giselle and Ashley's story. Giselle also brings up that the twins are doing really well in school. They have 4.0s, which is amazing to have 4.0s in college. And I believe both of the twins are at different schools. They're not at the same school. So Giselle was asked how she feels about being an empty nester. She said for 28 hours she was sad, but then she realized she could do whatever the hell she want to do and she ain't got to worry about no children. So she's feeling herself right now. She got her own space and time. Then they talked about Jamal and whether the girls were close with their stepmother or whatever. And Giselle was like, they don't know her. And I'm like, girl, do they not know her or you don't want them to know her? Are you jealous? Then they talked about his wedding, Jamal's wedding being themed Wiccan or Wicked or whatever. She was like, he doesn't even know what that is. How you know he don't know what it is? Maybe he went to the movies with his wife and saw it. Maybe he took her to New York to see the play. You don't know what them people over there doing. I know one thing, he ain't over there with you. So, girl, mind your business. That's all. Mind your business. Go over there with Nams and see what he doing. Moving on, they get into Kiana's package. So they talk about Kiana and how Greg doesn't really want to be seen on the show. But Greg didn't have a problem when Kiana was showcasing his business on the show. Was that okay? I don't really want to hear this stuff with Greg not wanting to be on the show. He's uncomfortable, this, that, and the third. When Kiana was sitting up there wearing his shirt in every scene to promote his business. Get a life, Greg, okay? And Greg, child, listen. Kiana said that she done got her a condo, child. She got a condo because she ain't even moved into the house that they bought together, which is strange. I don't know what the fuck she got going on, what her and Greg doing. She told me her and Greg needed to take a little break for a minute. But they still good. They still together. Kiana, baby girl, it's time to let it go. It's time to go ahead and send Greg packing. I don't think you and Greg are a match. It's not going to work. Let Greg and his beaver tooth in the front go ahead and nibble on somebody else's emotions, okay? You and Greg are not a match. It is do not pass go, do not collect $200. Leave this man alone. He is annoying. I'm convinced that Greg's are annoying. Okay, because the Greg in Married to Medicine is annoying too. We're gonna talk about his old raggedy ass too. Okay. Child, Kiana, it's given no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So then we have good old Stacy. Stacy says that she's already divorced. So we got Mia talking about her divorce will be final in a couple of weeks. Ashley, at this point, which we know now, currently has been divorced. I think for a couple of days now. It came out last week. Then we got yeah. So Stacy says that her divorce is final. Her divorce has been finalized, which I don't believe her because baby girl was wearing a ring at the Kempire show, like I told y'all. Okay. And I believe we're going to find out that Homegirl is lying from this whole TJ stuff. So she claims that her and TJ are broken up, but she didn't like the fact that Wendy was saying that he liked he was more interested in the trainer than her. Listen, Stacy. Oh, Stacy, you can't be mad at your friends because you're dumb, honey. You're dumb, okay? It's very clear that that man wasn't into you, and then everybody come to find out found out that you was paying this man. You were paying him to be your guy. What is going on here? What is up with y'all? Like, I get it. Y'all want to keep this is a cute coin that y'all are getting to be on this show. Y'all are doing a little bit of work, letting people be nosy in y'all business for a couple of weeks for filming or a month or so, a couple of months, whatever, how long it is. And then y'all get cut a big check. Okay. Whatever you consider a big check, because the glam and all this stuff that y'all apparently y'all got to pay for your own glam and all this, that, and the third when y'all are on these shows, and you got to pay hella taxes on this money. I hope the profit is worth it for your image. I hope it was worth it for you to be up here lying and telling people that this man is your dude. But you really wasn't telling nobody that that was your man. You kept on saying, "Oh, this is my best. We're best friends." And this, that, and the third. When people were like, "Are y'all together?" She was like, "We are not together." Stacy is playing semantics. She's saying, I want y'all to catch this. She's saying we're not together. She's saying it as if they were never together. They were always just friends. But girl, don't play with us. Do not play. So we even go into the whole situation about Stacy and this dress. Come to find out, Stacy and Ashley, the dress that Stacy wore in the finale, Ashley actually has the same dress. Now, mind you, both dresses came from Vivian, the dress designer lady. So Stacy was like, "Yeah, she's dead to me. She's not fuck that bitch or whatever." Wendy said that Stacy was like, "Fuck that bitch," because Vivian gave her the same dress that Ashley had on. Mind you, if you wearing anything that Ashley was wearing, you are the biggest man. You are the biggest bama around. Period. It is what it is. So, child, they were talking about everybody's fashions on the show. Then they talked about the blonde wig, the color number 613 thing. Then come to find out, everybody believes that Karen is really the only one that can wear blonde hair, and Giselle can pass for it too. But nobody else on the cast should be wearing blonde hair. And I tend to agree. I agree. And Ashley, you should be the last person talking about somebody's damn wig. I wish I had a picture of it up here still. That wig that you had on looking like your mama, you borrowed that wig from your mother when you were pregnant? No, baby. You can't talk about nobody's wig, Ashley. You shut the fuck up. Okay? You can't talk about nobody's wig. You can't talk about nobody's clothes. None of it. And they were talking shit about how Stacy dressed, but everybody was like, Wendy looked so good this season. But then Andy had some shit to say about this blue dress that Wendy had on, saying he never has texted any housewife about their outfit. But he said Wendy looked like the Michelin Man in this blue outfit that she had on. Now, Wendy, the blue dress wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't too bad. I mean, I ain't really see nothing wrong with the damn dress. But Wendy definitely came a long way. For her to become now best dressed from how she was looking first season. But I have to give credit where credit is due. Wendy only looked bad for one season. And I don't even think it was because she was looking bad. I think she was just not comfortable in her body, and she had just had a baby. So it was like she was just trying to become comfortable with herself again. And once baby girl got her confidence back, oh yeah, the clothes was fitting and the body was snatched, okay? The body was snatched, okay? Aunt Natty says, well, we talked about that. Lee, what's up, Lee? My girl Lee in the building. She says, hey, Shay and Chad Giselle, a jealous old huzzy. And is okay. Linnell Siler says, hi, what's up? What's up? Thank you for joining. Miss Vaughn says, good evening, Shay Renee and everybody. Hello. Thank you so much for joining. Laquanda Govan says, good evening, everyone. Good evening. Lee says, baby, all them mesh see-through shirts TJ was wearing, he was loud and proud for me. Absolutely. Loud and proud. He is definitely of the community, in my opinion. Lee says, Ashley mama will give homeless every I wonder if Ashley got a piece of settlement for her mama. Because they was over there paying for her mama's bills and things, child. Gabby Janice says, hey, what's up, friend? Thank you for joining. So, y'all, yeah, it wasn't really nothing going on. They were talking about absolutely nothing. We talked about Stacy. We talked about Ashley and her dude and Giselle and the girls. We talked about Kiana and her ridiculous relationship with her old gremlin faced ass boyfriend, fiance, whatever the fuck you want to call it this week. So then the last part, they go into Mia again. So they start to going in on Mia, and Mia is all upset. She's like, yeah, and it's just a lot to deal with, and blah blah blah. So then they're talking about how everybody was coming for her. They were like basically telling her that she's a damn liar. Okay. So Jacqueline comes out with her pregnant behind and says literally two words. Andy asked Jacqueline, has it been ever been difficult dealing with Mia and the truth? And Jacqueline was like, well, Mia doesn't really withhold the truth from me. She may be a little hesitant sometimes, but she doesn't lie to me often. Girl, Jacqueline, why? Gabby Janice says, am I the only one that zoned out when Wendy and Ashley were arguing over the girl? No, because I did too. I told you this reunion part two was very boring. It didn't give all they thought it was supposed to have gave. Like it was really a waste of time. I could have really did this review for this episode in 10 minutes. It was giving absolutely nothing. So Mia gets upset again and she's ready to leave again. And it's like, girl, just go ahead and get out. Just go and get out. Cause you obviously are running out of things to talk about. You're running out of lies to give. And everybody has run out of fucks to give about any of the lies that you're telling. Nobody believes anything that you're saying. They all believe that all of y'all are in on the games. She's talking about some Gordon wanted to come and, you know, he wanted to apologize to her on the stage. Girl, don't nobody cares about you, Gordon, or any of these fake ass apologies that y'all are trying to do. All of y'all are playing games. It was very clear. Gordon is the type of person that as long as it benefits him, he's fine. Now, he said on camera, I didn't agree to this. We could tell that this was all orchestrated because at one point he's like, I agreed to film with you and the kids with him when he's around, but I don't want to film with him with just us. Like, I don't want to do that. Or I think he said he didn't want the kids around. He didn't want to film with him around the children. And he didn't want to film intimate scenes where it's just the three of them. I don't know what the fuck. Gordon got some stipulations on some shit. I don't know, but it is what it is. I think he said he wants to be cordial. At the end of the day, it's giving fake. It's really giving fake. I don't trust anything that's going on with this triangle of foolishness. It is what it is. Gabby Janice says Jacqueline is a writer and will say anything to make Mia happy. Indeed. I wouldn't be surprised if that wasn't Mia's baby child if it was scientifically possible. Because the way she be up Mia's ass, I don't know if it was any room for somebody to get up in that cooch. Child. Lee says, I gotta tell y'all, my friend Sea Moss and her elderberry syrup has been working wonders. It's been cutting the sickness in my household super short. My hub been putting a dent in the sea moss. Oh, you ordered from me? Thank you so much, Lee. I appreciate you. That is awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate your support and I'm glad it's working. Tanisha Breedlove says, hey, Shay Renee, what's up? What's up? Gabby Janice says, Mia running out in the middle of a reunion. Hope she gets the boot or demoted to friend of. Yeah, I don't know if she's going to get demoted. I think they're going to give her another season to clean it up. But I don't know. I think she really got to do something next season or it ain't going to work. She gonna find herself on the chopping block like the rest of America that got that email from Mr. Musk. I don't know. Lee says, yes, ma'am. I'll be reordering soon. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. That is awesome. That warms my heart whenever y'all tell me about y'all products. I love, love, love to serve. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I appreciate you. But yeah, y'all, that's all I gave. And then we get to the end where the guys are trying to figure out who's there. And they realize TJ isn't there. Karen and her husband aren't there. And Gordon isn't there. Who else got a shit? Ain't nobody else got a man. So it's just basically Greg and Eddie. That's it. So they called TJ on the phone. TJ is like, yeah, I had to relocate because of the fires or whatever. Luckily, nothing happened to my house or whatever the hell he was talking shit about. Then they blank out at the end. He was talking about how fake the show is, and then the third, but they're going to show on the next episode where he was like, she didn't give him give him his payment for him to come on the show with her. So I'm like, child, TJ and Stacy are on some games and on some bullshit. Ain't nobody got time for that. Like, nobody really has time for that. Mind you, going back to Jacqueline, why did they even bring Jacqueline out? Jacqueline ain't even said but two damn words. Then she said that the baby daddy ain't PPP guy. Girl, child, moving on, y'all. Okay, let's move along to the Married to Medicine folks, okay? And while we move on to that, I need y'all to like the video. Yeah. Work, 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 work. To me, I can work, 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 work. See me do me dirt, 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 dirt. Tell me about that work, 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 work. When you walk a line, in the girls and her, join me at dessert. Let the devil lurking. Yeah. You make a like, now you don't like it. You know I dealt with you tonight. All right, y'all. Married to Medicine. Okay. We get back on to the Married to Medicine folks, and they continue on from the scene where King and Greg looked like King was about to pulverize Greg, okay, and make him his subordinate. All right. The kingdom was broken down, 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 down. Okay. Where we at? Let me make sure I get all y'all. Giselle and Ashley's storyline next season will be about Mia. It definitely will, because neither one of them got shit to talk about. The end was given very bad acting, very bad, extremely bad. What's up, Brittany Janae? Also one of my members. Hey, 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 hey. She says, hey, friend in chat. What's up? What's up? Gabby Janice says Jacqueline could have been phoned in for her part. Yeah, she could have been right on the damn jumbotron somewhere. Ain't nobody got time for her. Okay, she wasted all her time stuffing herself in that dress with her pregnant belly. Kudos to her for having, I think she finally having a boy. But yeah, girl, no. Lee said Jacqueline could have stayed her save a lot ass at home. She definitely could have did that, okay? Gabby Janice says Greg ran for his life and did. Talking about I could have been, she got me here at 1:30. I could have gotten, and yeah, it's 4:30. I could have been out in Manhattan somewhere. You are there to support your girl. What is wrong with you? He just irritates me and whiny. Oh, you talking about Greg on Married to Medicine? He definitely ran for his life. Okay, definitely ran for his life. Aunt Natty says Dr. Elmo took me out running backwards. Not Dr. Elmo. Oh my God. First of all, oh, I forgot to tag my friend Ebony in this video. Let me tell you something. Shaq did a good job of making sure that he kept them separated. Okay. First of all, Dr. G did not want to be accosted by any measure. Okay. He did not want to be accosted by Mr. King in any shape, form, or fashion, because Mr. King was about to bash that head in. Okay. He was about to tear Greg a new tail. He was about to beat his ass so bad that Greg's voice was going to be deep by the time he was finished with his ass. Okay. Greg ain't want to play with King. He ain't want to play with King. Okay. So King said, oh, you ain't going to tell. She can say whatever the hell she want. Okay. You will not disrespect her and you will apologize to her. And Greg tried to act like he said he apologized. He did not apologize. And Greg was over there pushing that man's buttons because all the other guys were around in these cameras. That's exactly why Greg did that. Greg, let's just boil it. We'll boil it all down to the fact that Greg is jealous. I don't think that Greg ever wanted to divorce Quad. I think that Greg is stuck in his ways. Okay. I really think that Greg um, made some poor choices. I think that Greg is very stubborn. I think that Greg thought that because he had money and that Quad obviously married him for what he could do for her and the prestige of it all, that he could control her. And he's mad that he wasn't able to control Quad with his financials. Quad was also a woman that would work. She can make her own money. And when she got this show and realized, I don't need you. I don't need you. I can move on. You are annoying. You get on my nerves. I ain't got time. And I'm not about to be fucking you. And I'm not going to have no kids by your raggedy ass. It's simple as that. So the guys were able to keep Greg and King from fighting. But then you got Sweet Tea that's over here throwing a damn tantrum. Let me tell y'all something. I know y'all like Sweet Tea. But Sweet Tea gets on my damn nerves. I am not a Sweet Tea fan in no shape, form, or fashion. I think that baby girl is annoying as fuck. I think she's childish as fuck. I think she needs to grow up. And the fact that I don't give a damn how much military training you say you have, you, no shade, you don't look like you've been doing any type of training for quite some time now. So even though I don't know if that's muscle memory for you at this point, you don't look like you've taken a kickboxing class, a boxing class, a karate class. The only black belt I can see you wearing may have a Gucci emblem on it. You, ma'am, are not giving, it's not giving exercise. It's not. So you was about to go over there. You look gassed out running across the sand, which I was actually very impressed by that quick jog that you did over there. But he is still a man, honey. Okay? The training that you have, it's not current. And from my understanding, you were in the Navy, not the military. Now, I don't want to ever minimize combat training or whatever you said you had or whatever. But girl, you haven't been in practice of any type of exercise or anything. And your body is weighed down by so many hormones so that you can have a baby. Your body is going through a lot of changes right now. You are losing a lot of blood every month with your endometriosis, your fibroids, all these things that are going on in your body where you're having a weakened system. But you think you about to go over here and karate chop the fuck out of King, a strong man with a six-pack that's having sex 15 times a week? Baby, you ain't got that type of stamina, honey. You and your combat training and your husband's little tiny voice don't stand a chance over Big King, not the little one. All right? Recognize that's Big King, not the little one. Let that man go. Let Greg, let Lionel lick Lily's lusty leathers by himself. Okay? Go on, do that. You need to stay out of that, honey. You're very childish. Sweet Tea, you are not sweet at all. You are actually very, very, very saltine. Very salty. Sour even. I nothing sweet about you. Okay? You're annoying. And I want you to go. I really want you to get the fuck out of here. Okay? I don't want to see Sweet Tea no more. Not no more. Okay? Moving on. Moving on. Miss Vaughn says, I see why Quad left Dr. G. Girl, listen. I'd have left his raggedy ass too. Brittany Jazane says, not Dr. Elmo. That's damn funny though. Greg couldn't get over the fact that King is tearing up the cooch 15. Listen, because Greg used to be pissed that Quad wouldn't give him no pussy. He was pissed, okay? He said it's been years that we have since they've had sex. And my thing is, Greg, that's your fault. The way to a woman's innards, if you catch my drift, is through her mind. When you fucking up the rotation and you ain't fucking me through my ear hole first with what you saying, you ain't gonna make it down south. You ain't gonna make it down south because you irritating the fuck out of me all day. Number one, your voice is annoying. Number two, you're annoying. And number three, you don't listen. You're very stubborn, Greg. Don't nobody got time for that. Nobody. So moving on. Sweet Tea is over there getting prayed over by Contessa and Phaedra. So Phaedra then turned into Elder Phaedra, Deaconess Phaedra. Okay, she was speaking in tongues, in her eeny weeny teeny bikini on the beach. Listen, okay, you like it, I love it. Moving on. Aunt Natty says sour lemonade need to sit down. But I did feel bad for her when Dr. Elmo went in on her. We're going to talk about that. I ain't feel bad for her. Everybody on Twitter was he was so rude. No, I ain't think it was rude, but we're going to get into it. Gabby Janice says, my sis served in the military and can fight a man, but she wouldn't tempt a man either. Now, I agree with that. That's what I'm saying. I believe that a woman can beat up a man. Let's be very clear. I think that there's a capability, right? Okay, follow me here. Can you beat up every man? No, I don't think so. Okay, there's a certain type of training, a certain level of training that they have because you are going to war at times, or you're in the state of battle where you have to know how to defend yourself. Now, again, I agree with you. I'm not about to be out here picking no fights with no man. Because it is scientifically true that men are stronger than women. Also, I feel like Greg is intimidated because if Sweet Tea thinks that she can whoop King's ass, just imagine what she thinks she can do to his ass. Catch that, T. He might not want to be fucking with her and talking all that shit like he tried to with Quad. Lee says, Sweet Tea sounded so stupid, girl. He is a man, and whatever training you had was exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I could see if Sweet Tea was still in the gym. Now, if that was Contessa saying that, now Contessa was in the military too. Okay. Now, if Contessa said that, or Contessa went after King, I might think a little, King, I don't know. Contessa might give you a little bit of a run for your money. I'm just saying, because Contessa still works out. I could see her maintaining that level of training. But Sweet Tea, you are like the Pillsbury Doughgirl version of what she was back then. And even back then, it wasn't really given like G.I. Jane, baby. It wasn't given. It wasn't given. The body wasn't given that. It was never given Contessa. Okay. I'm just saying. Miss Vaughn says, I like Sweet Tea, but she was doing the most on the beach. She was doing the absolute most. Absolutely the most. I also feel like, again, Sweet Tea is on a lot of hormones and things like that. She got a lot going on. She has absolutely a lot going on with her. But at the same time, you're on TV. You have to know how to control yourself, man. You got to learn how to control yourself. Moving on, Gabby Janice says Sweet Tea sold her to Dr. G and now she can't deliver and he's making her pay for it. Yeah, I think there's a certain level of resentment that he has towards her because she sold him a whole dream. She sold him a whole dream. Anytime a man can get on national TV and admit he put hands on his ex-wife, I would not be in his DMs. Hell no. Absolutely the freak not. I would not even be selling him Girl Scout cookies, okay? Let alone my damn cooch crack. No. Greg is giving his BS. Yeah, he's definitely a bitch ass. Definitely a bitch. Okay. Greg is giving his balls never dropped. He would never talk to me the way he talks to Sour Lemon. No. I don't think any self-respecting woman would allow him to talk to them the way that he spoke to her. I believe he was disrespectful once they went upstairs. At the table, I believe it was given, yeah, you naive and you tripping. Brittany Janae says Greg gives two pumps in time. Not two pumps and done, honey. That is sad. She's taking it. She's taking the two pumps, okay? Linda Gamble says, hello, Shay Renee. What's up, Linda Gamble? The hardest working woman on the YouTubes, okay? Lee says, yeah, Contessa keeps that muscle memory. She gonna be somebody else. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, 1000%. Fred Phillips says, love your contacts. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Oh, I don't wear contacts, baby. This is all natural, okay? But thank you so much. Child, my eyes look like they red. I'm tired, honey. Um, oh, I think he meant to say I love your content. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. Lee says, hey Linda. Aunt Natty says if Sour Lemonade was a medic in the military, that furthers my opinion. She knew she couldn't give him what he wants. Right. Exactly. I told y'all that girl, I think she knew that she had problems with conceiving. But you know what? Let's just pray that it works out for her. Or maybe if it doesn't, it's because it don't need to happen with Greg. Maybe it ain't meant for Greg to be nobody daddy because look how he act. He don't have no patience whatsoever. I don't understand how he has any patience, period. As far as patience, he's, servicing. He don't have patience, meaning with people, but I don't understand how he has any patience with a T. So, more power to him. Gabby Janice says, when them cameras left, you can't tell me Greg put hands and feet on Sour Lemon. I think that she's so delusional. I don't think she would have. I think she's delusional, but I don't think that she would allow him to hit her. I don't think that. Barb says, I enjoyed the reunion. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think it, listen, it had its parts, but I don't know, Barb. For me, it was just like, it was just meh. I don't know. Hopefully part 3 is better. Natty says Dr. Elmo need to be somebody's patient. He need to go sit in Dr. Mimi's chair ASAP. So y'all, hold on. Miss Vaughn says Greg don't need a child because he is a child. Period. Exactly. Lee says I agree. I think she knew she couldn't have kids, but also Dr. G ain't a great advocate for being a parent, and isn't okay. Come on, y'all, like up the video. I only need 9 more likes to match. Like the video, please, please, and thank you. Appreciate you. So moving on, Quad comes running over there to stop King from pulverizing Greg, and she walks off with him. And he says, "Yeah, he told me that he told you to shut the f up, and that he wasn't talking to his wife. He was talking to you. And I told him you ain't gonna talk to her like that. You ain't about to talk to my woman like that. She can say whatever she want. Yeah, you can say whatever you want to him." King, I understand that you're upset, but King, let me tell you something. Quad can't say whatever she wants to Greg. Quad needs to lay off Greg and Sweet Tea. I think that y'all, they just need to leave each other alone. Greg and Quad don't need to talk to each other, period. It's obvious that Greg is not over Quad in the situation. I think that Greg is upset that Quad left him. He's spoken several times saying that he doesn't like the way, he don't like to just end things or whatever. He likes to stay the course. But it's like, Greg, nobody gonna stay the course with you, and you're annoying as fuck. What did you expect to happen in this relationship? Why would she stay in a relationship with the likes of you? It's given, that makes absolutely no sense. And you gotta know that. You gotta know that. But moving on, Greg, after Contessa and Phaedra praying over Sweet Tea. Sweet Tea kept on trying to get away so she can go and fight King because she's so upset. Sweet Tea has a lot of anger inside of her. I think that Sweet Tea is frustrated in her marriage. I think that Sweet Tea is taking it out on not only this whole situation with Quad, but I think she's taking it out on Heavenly. I think that she's having meaningless arguments with Heavenly because she's angry. I think she's angry that she has been exposed. that she cannot have, she's having trouble having children. Um, I think that she is, I think she's made a poor choice with hitching her wagon to Greg. It is what it is. So you got to live with your consequences, honey. Um, I do believe Sour Lemon was set up to fail either way by being on this show. I would have never agreed to come on this show if I were her. I think that she wanted to be on the show, though. I do. Brittany Janae says Greg is a Taurus. They hate when you leave them. Ooh, child. Mm, that Taurus bull of a man, child. Mm, mm, mm. Stubborn. Think they know everything. Don't listen. Okay. I am way too familiar with a Taurus man. Now, my husband is a Leo, but the familiarity I have with the Taurus man, child, annoying. Okay. Let's just call them annoying. Think this. Woo, I could give you a rap sheet of information on a Taurus man, but I digress. I would never marry one. Let's just say that. And you know what? It's crazy because all of the men that I have dated in my past prior to my husband, I got along with the Taurus man the best. But the last one before I child, no, 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 no. No. But moving on. Them child, that's too many flashbacks, honey. Not Cone Tessa. Yeah, Cone Tessa. Aunt Natty says Brittany Janae, he got kicked out of the club like Dust Mite. Child, listen, okay? The Taurus man is something else, child. Something the hell else. So moving on, y'all. Phaedra said, I'm going home. I'm taking it on. I'm gonna go ahead and head on now. I'm tired of this. I'm leaving. Sweet Tea said, we leaving too. I don't want to be here. This is too much. We gonna go home and make babies because that's what we came here to do. We came here to be fucking and trying to have a kid. I ain't got time for the bullshit. I'm gonna head on out. Okay. So moving on, we get everybody on the boat. Okay. Caramel Kisses says, my husband is a Leo as well. Oh, okay. Yes, honey, to the Leo husband. Okay. Lee says, LOL. Listen, we might have to talk about these Taurus men in the members only, child. That's how upsetting it is for me. So anyway, everybody gets on their prospective boat. At this point, Simone has to get a separate boat where Phaedra and Chet are on it, and Sweet Tea and Greg are on that boat with Phaedra and Shaq, and everybody else on the other boat. So Apollo's wife is on there with him, and they're like all Shireen or whatever. So they're talking about how, Apollo is basically like, I didn't know that Phaedra was I'm bringing Shaq and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, okay. And Jackie is over there trying to calm the situation. She's sitting next to King, and she says, you know what, just calm down, it's going to be okay. You know what time y'all on for the week already? Just go on back to your room and work on having sex on the 15th time. I'm like, okay, Jackie, you over here really trying to diffuse the situation. I can appreciate that. So then we have a moment where Heavenly and Contessa are bonding. You know what? I feel like Contessa is full of shit. Because Contessa is over here trying to mend the fields with Heavenly because she realized that her whole plan to come on here and make Heavenly look bad backfired. She couldn't get all the ladies to rally around her and somehow dethrone Heavenly and get rid of her. Nobody is checking for her. So she's like, you know what? If you can't beat them, join them. Let me go ahead and be friends with Heavenly at this point, because I think the Contessa really wants to be Heavenly's friend anyway. Y'all, why are my friends texting me at 12:21 in the morning? Child, they need to go to bed right along with my ass. But moving on. I think that Contessa is full of shit. I do. I think she's full of shit. And I think that you're over here trying to be friends with Heavenly. I think you always wanted to be Heavenly's friend. I think you love Heavenly and nobody else is joining you in your foolishness. So, moving on. They all get back to their prospective rooms. I mean, they get back to shore and Dr. Eugene is like, "Oh damn, yo, you got us back quick." Basically telling the driver of the boat, "You can wanted to get us the fuck up off this boat, so you got us back real fast. Like these black people on here cackling and causing trouble. Let me go and get them up off my damn boat." So moving on, the next morning, we see Contessa is in the room talking to Scott about the whole situation. And she says, "Well, it's crazy that this whole situation has brought me and Heavenly closer together." I'm like, Contessa, you was just in your backyard complaining to Scott about Heavenly and saying you'll never talk to her again. She did to you and this, that, and the third. Now all of a sudden this brought y'all together. How did it bring y'all together? Because y'all was on the little boat, the little ski, what are the jet skis together, or in the little boat. It was the canoe. They did the canoe together, and now y'all had a little moment because Sweet Tea done ran off and started acting stupid. The problem is Contessa realizes that Sweet Tea is not a good piece of bait for her to stay on the show. She don't really fuck with Sweet Tea like that. I think that she only was cool with Sweet Tea because Sweet Tea was just as unhinged as she was about Heavenly. That was it. I don't believe anything that comes out of Contessa's body, mind, or spirit. I don't. I think she is a liar. I think she'll just jump to whatever team suits her at the moment, and that is what it is. So we see Heavenly talking to Apollo and Shireen. Okay, I'm so sorry, y'all. I don't mean to body shame nobody, but Shireen, she do not look like how she did. Most of us don't look like how we did 10 years ago. Let me go ahead and say that. But I believe baby girl has been pumped and stumped and thrown all around in her rump. It's too much. She's got all the Botox, all the everything. Um, Phaedra is definitely giving baby girl a run for her money. She looks better than Shireen to me. Shireen, whatever. Okay. Apollo seems very bothered by the fact that Phaedra brought his friend Shaq. And I think Phaedra, hold on, Gabby says, I can't stand Simone. You can't stand Simone? I think that Phaedra, I can't stand Simone sometimes either. I agree. I think that Phaedra brought Shaq to make Apollo jealous. And I think that it blew up in her face. I think it blew up in her face. And I think that she really wanted to have him come by himself without his wife. And she was going to try to make a whole scene. And now that her little plan backfired, now you want to go home. You don't want to face the music and talk to everybody and, you know, tell the truth. You knew that Apollo was coming. She tried to lie because when Jackie came in the room to check on Phaedra, Phaedra going to tell Jackie, I'm really disappointed in you because I thought that you would have had some wisdom or you would have, came to my aid. None of you came to my aid. What are they going to come to your aid for, Phaedra? You brought a dude on the trip knowing that he was friends with Apollo and Shireen. You knew that Apollo was coming, so you brought said friend who told you prior to this vacation that they were friends. So you tried to stir the pot and start some shit, and it backfired all in your face. This is chess, not checkers. And Apollo checked your ass. And he raised you and brought his own wife. So I'm good on Phaedra on this show. Miss B says, "Hey sis, what's up? Thank you so much for joining." Miss B, my sister, and also one of my members is in the building. Okay, thank you so much for joining. Gabby Janice says Jackie needs Devilly as her backbone. Child, listen, That is a duo that ain't gonna break up. Okay. Gabby Janice says Contessa is Delulu and is and definitely is. Okay. Linda Gamble says 38 likes and 44 in the chat. Okay, let's get the likes up. Okay, okay, including those in the bushes. Now I done told y'all we're gonna talk about it again. When you like the video, okay, I know some of y'all like to stay in the bushes and you don't want to be known, but even if you like the video, we still won't know who you are. Likes are anonymous on YouTube, okay? They are anonymous yet appreciated because we can see that the video has been liked. We just can't see that it is you, okay? So you can stay anonymous, you can stay in the bushes, just like the video. That's all I ask. Appreciate you, okay? Brittany Janae says Shireen looks like an unkept blow up. Yes, that is oh my god, she looks like a blow up doll. She does, and definitely unkept. Definitely unkept. She needs some more air in her. No, take some air out. Take some air out. It's too pumped up. The whole body, the face, everything. Miss Vaughn says I can't stand Simone either. Child, you right, Shay. Someone else gets it. Yeah, I just child. Unbelievable. She used to date Shireen's sister. What? She used to date Shireen's sister. Who did? Contessa? I don't know. Linda Gamble says 41 likes, 49 in the chat. Come on, y'all. We got to get them likes to match. Gabby Janice says, I don't feel bad for how the ladies did Faktra. I still haven't forgiven her for what she did to Candy. Oh, and I haven't either. She will never get my forgiveness for that. Ms. Vaughn says, I didn't know Faye Faye knew Apollo and her new dude knew each other. Yeah, it was on an episode. He told her. Not an unkept blow up doll, yes. But yeah, it was a scene where they were together, or I think they were on a date or something, and Shek told Phaedra that she knew Apollo, that he knew Apollo. He was like, yeah, I know your ex and I know his wife too. Like, we're cool. Like, we're super cool. He told her that, like, they're friends. So Phaedra goes and they film her getting on a private jet for her to get on up out of there, child. She got the fuck up out of Dodge. And I heard that was the last time she filmed on the show. So I think this is around the time that she went, but she was making her decision to go back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So she went back, she signed her contract for Atlanta and said adios amigos to Married to Medicine. There really was no room for Phaedra on this show. She didn't fit. It wasn't, it didn't make sense. They all definitely are mean girls, but phony Faye Faye has no room to talk. Hey, Candy and Portia. Right, exactly. Shaq used to date Shireen's sister. Yes. Okay. Yes. Shireen did say that he dated her, that he's a player. He ain't nobody's man. He just out here, dicking and doing everybody up in Atlanta. That's what she said. So anyway, y'all, moving on. Phaedra and Shaq leave, and Dr. Greg and Sweet Tea end up rolling out too, and they go on back to the Atlantis. So the guys are in a truck the next day, and they're going to go smoke some cigars. They talk about the night before, and most of them agree that this is probably the worst of any couple's trip that they've experienced, as far as somebody trying to fight and this, that, and the third. So the new guy, I can't remember Mimi's husband's name to save my life, but he was just like, yeah, all of that is just crazy. Like, I'm usually a peacemaker in any environment. And Cecil was like, well, yeah, we do need another peacemaker in this situation. And they were all just imparting wisdom on King, telling him, don't even let that stuff bother you. Let's just try to move on. We stay out the women's stuff. Let's move on. Oh, okay, Steve. Thank you, Aunt Natty, because I be forgetting that man's name. I just think of him as the NFL football player, the lady husband that played football. So the ladies get together and they do their perspective activity. I forgot what it was, child. We're gonna see in a minute, because y'all know I like to watch the show, watch back as it's going on. So the ladies are talking in the van over to their activity, and Simone talks about the conversation that they had with Apollo and Shireen. And she's basically like, they left, so they went to Miami or whatever. So they ended up going to Miami and not staying in Florida with the other couples in Key West. So Phaedra has gone. Dr. Greg and Sweet Tea are gone. Everybody's like, you know what? We need some healing in this group. We need to really just move past all this drama. This is entirely too much. This is too much. So as the ladies go to a distillery. That's where they go. So they go to a distillery to try some type of alcohol, child. So they all go in there. They're partaking and talking about the night before. Here's my thing. I just feel like Quad Quad just needs to stop talking to Dr. G. Don't even try to be cordial with him. Don't try to be friends with Sweet Tea. Just ignore them. Why? I don't even know why Dr. G and Sweet Tea are on the show, honestly. I think that they're on the show because I know that they're why they're on the show. Heavenly wanted them to come on the show so Quad can secure her spot on the show. Because without them on the show, it's really like, why is Quad here? Because at that time, she didn't have solid friendships with the other ladies. Now that she's back in the group, it's fine for her to be on the show. Everybody cool. But without them before, it was no need for Quad to be on the show because didn't nobody fuck with her. Now don't nobody like Sweet Tea because she's annoying as fuck. So she can go ahead and go. So the ladies talk about Phaedra leaving at this distillery. They talk about how Phaedra hasn't really gotten to know anybody in the group. Phaedra isn't going to be honest. All she had to do was come and talk about what happened. They just really don't like that Phaedra is not upfront about her stuff. And also, I think they want to be all up in Phaedra's business. And Phaedra is just a very private person, which, as y'all know, I don't think that anybody that considers themselves a private person should ever be on reality TV. It's just not for you. But I also don't think that this was the right environment for Phaedra. Phaedra doesn't know these ladies like that. So for her to be just up here opening up to them willy-nilly, it just doesn't, it wouldn't seem authentic anyway. She's not like tough tight with any of these chicks on this show. You could tell that Phaedra was just thrown in the mix. Now, her and Quad as friends, I could see that because Phaedra was friends with Quad when Quad was married to Dr. G. But it doesn't look like they really maintained any of that friendship. They haven't remained as close. So I don't know. It's something about Mimi and her husband that don't sit well with me. Oh, well, if it's something, we're going to find out soon enough, I'm sure. Natty says the ladies did the rum bar. Yes, yep. They went to the rum bar, went to that distillery to try out some rum. The Caramel Kisser says the Shet guy used to date Shireen's sister. Yes, he did. Yep, somebody said it up top, I believe. Aunt Natty said it. Gabby Janice says, let's be honest. What does Heavenly, Jackie, Simone, and Toya have going on outside of being in the mess with Quad and Sweet Tea? Nothing. Now, let me say this. Heavenly is funny to me. I know a lot of y'all don't like her, but Heavenly is funny to me. And I feel like, despite what people may think, I think that Heavenly does have a overall genuine spirit. I do. I am the oddball out with that. And if my girl D Herford was on here, she would be like, girl, I'm skipping this. Because you are delusional over Heavenly. But I like Heavenly. I mean, it is what it is, y'all. I like me some Heavenly. But I'm not going to defend her, the stupid stuff that she does. Heavenly does silly things. And she says stuff that is ridiculous. And yes, Heavenly is problematic. She is problematic at times. Absolutely. I agree. 1000%. But I still like her. I'm telling you, I wish they bring Audra back. That's just me. Agreed. Like she's been doing. Yeah, I think I just think that Heavenly helps to bring the drama. That's all. That's what I think. I think that Dr. Jackie is probably the most worthless on the show. She doesn't, I think she brings an occasional little zinger. But Dr. Jackie is just pretty much a person holding space at this point. Toya is always going to say whatever she wants to say. and she's going to be truthful, whether it makes sense or not. She's going to tell what she considers to be her truth, and that's that on that. Um, but moving on, the ladies come to the conclusion that Sweet Tea is pretty much getting on their nerves, and that Phaedra is fake as hell, and they ain't really fucking with her. Okay. So everybody goes back to their prospective quarters. They go back to their little humble abodes in Key West, and they get ready for this couples thing. So as everybody's getting ready for this couples night out or whatever, we go over to where do we see? This is where we see Toya and Eugene getting ready to get ready. Toya is like, she don't really want to go. She ain't trying to go and talk about relationships with people that don't even know what the hell to do with their own damn relationship. I'm like, Toya, you done had one too many drinks and you want to go to sleep. You are at work, ma'am. Get yourself together and go film with these people and talk about a bunch of nothing and record it so we can watch it. Girl, stop playing with us. So everybody got to wear yellow and black and all this, that, and the third. And Sweet Tea and Greg are at home. So Contessa calls them to check on them to see how they're doing. And Mimi says, listen, this is basically a situation where people have not resolved prior issues. I think she even talks about that when they all sit down. Contessa is basically like, she wants to get their perspective on what happened. So then they go over to the scene of Sweet Tea and Greg sitting down at the table talking. Let's get into this. Listen, a lot of people were upset because they felt like Greg was being condescending to Sweet Tea. Greg, I think, is experiencing trauma right now. I think that Greg has a lot of pent up emotions. I think that Greg has not fully healed from that marriage. I think Greg loved Quad. I don't think he wanted his marriage to end. But Greg is very delusional in the thought process that somebody is just going to stick around just because you are you. No, nobody is obligated to remain tortured in your presence. You weren't protective of her. You weren't tender to Quad. Both of y'all were button heads every 5 minutes. You rather be right than loving. You would rather be right than solve the problem. You would rather be right than understanding. A lot of times in relationships, it's not always about who's right and who's wrong. It's about understanding each other and figuring out a way to move forward. Because at the end of the day, being right doesn't really solve the problem. It simply doesn't. So then Sweet Tea Greg talks about how, he wasn't trying to get into no fight with King because, he's a doctor and this, that, and the third. And Sweet Tea jumps in and says, well, you wouldn't have had to do that because I am combat trained and I would have helped you. In that moment, I would have thought Greg, as a doctor, would understand that Sweet Tea was basically trying to be his ride or die. She was stepping in saying, listen, you my man. And I know that you are a doctor and you're not about to be out here fighting. I was going to take a L for you. I was going to bust his ass for you with my military training. And instead of Greg seeing it for what she was trying to give, she was trying to let him know, listen, I love you and I don't want anybody to hurt you. Even if I got to step up and, take the L for you, I would do it. He didn't hear her say that. All he heard was an opportunity to be condescending and say, you a woman. You can't fight no man. You ain't strong enough to fight no man. I don't give a damn about what type of training you done had and this, that, and the third. He wasn't listening. That's the problem. He listens to respond. He doesn't ever listen to understand. And Sweet Tea is over here like, I'm over here telling you I got your back. I'm here for you. You're not listening. But then he calls her, he was like, see, you naive. That's all it is. You naive. You just young and basically calling her young and dumb. Now, Greg, you married her. And if her being young and dumb is so annoying to you and this, that, and the third, and you get so upset over the things that she says and how she handles stuff, then why did you marry her? You obviously want somebody that's naive and young and dumb. And another thing that I want people to understand is this is the stage where Greg is playing mind games with Sweet Tea. Hear me out when I say this. Greg is playing mental gymnastics with Sweet Tea right now. This is a fragile state in their marriage. He is trying to take over her mind so that later on, when he tries to take out over physically, okay, first it starts with them getting inside your head. Then it turns physical. I don't think it's gotten quite physical yet because Sweet Tea is so angry. She has a lot of pent up anger inside of her. And I think that she is just waiting to pounce on Greg too. I think she's trying to maintain her composure. But I think she 2 seconds from hauling off on Greg's ass too. Because when Greg does that little thing that he used to do with Quad, where he talks his little shit and walks off, Sweet Tea is like, I know you fucking lying. I'm coming after your ass and we going to keep on arguing. I don't give a shit what you talking about. We going to keep on going back and forth, which is also not healthy. They need to allow each other a respectful piece of space to deal with the situation. Now, setting boundaries is very different from accepting disrespect. I do think that Sweet Tea needs to create a certain level of boundary where it comes to Greg trying to get the last word and walking off, talking his little shit, and then, walking off like, yeah, bitch, I got the last word. Fuck you talking about. Like a little bitch. That's what he does. There's a way for Sweet Tea to check him without running after him. In that moment when he walks off saying, yeah, you naive and this and the third, you don't know what the fuck you talking about, I'd have been like, oh, okay, keep on running off like a little bitch like you always do. All right. I'm going to be here when you get back. And that's what I'd have let him do. Go upstairs and bicker like an old ass man by yourself. And I would have told him, well, I'm young and naive and you old and a bickering bastard. What's new? I'm young and naive. You old and stupid. Guess we just making it work together. We going to meet in the middle of our years. Somebody's IQ will catch up. She got to know how to read his ass back. And not going back and forth with y'all bickering and arguing. You got to cut that off at the head. But he is definitely getting inside of her head. He is trying to take over her mind first so that he can, if he hauls off and hits her or something, she'll be so in far in the sunken place in her head that it won't even occur to her that he's hitting her. That's just my opinion. That's what I think. Dr. G is a mental health professional who doesn't know how to listen. He is too emotional and volatile at his big age. Absolutely. But they say that most mental health professionals are good at what they do with other people, but they need a lot of support in their own personal lives, which I'd be interested to hear some reviews on what his clients say about him, child. Gabby Janice says, after him calling me naive, I would have pissed him off by leaving the room. Yeah, now you start walking off on his ass. But you know what? Tit for tat don't never work. It don't. Barb says the Navy is the military. Yeah, but I don't know. Let me say this because I do not want to be disrespectful to anybody. First of all, anybody on here that's done any type of public service, thank you for your service, okay? I know that it is far more than what I could ever do. Let's make that very clear, okay? I don't know if there's a difference in the type of training. I don't know. But all I'm going to say is whatever the training is for Navy, military, the same. Sweet Tea don't look like she been practicing that training at least for the last 3-4 years. Okay. I did say, however, Contessa, who was also in the military or the Navy. I'm not sure what part, what branch of, or what what she did, but I know that she served the country as well, and I believe that Contessa would give King more of a run for his money with said training than Sweet Tea ever could. That is also what I said. Okay. So again, I apologize if I offended anybody. That is definitely never my intention. But however, I do hold true to that. Sweet Tea is definitely naive in this moment where it comes to King, because baby girl, you are not military, Navy, Air Force fit. Okay, none of that right now. So let's just be clear. Your love angel says, I watched Sweet Tea and Greg's YouTube and it was interesting. Oh gosh, I got to go see that. Gabby Janice says, kind of like what Cliff does to Latrice. Well, yeah, definitely. What Cliff does to Latrice on Bell Collective. Absolutely. And Latrice over there thinking that she the one really being the aggressor, and she's not. Both of them playing power moves. Gabby Janice says, it's too late to set boundaries now. She should have checked in and set her boundaries in the beginning. I agree. Gabby Janice says the Navy deals with water, military deals with what's on the ground. But I do believe they both get trained for the just in case. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they all have to, they are all trained in some form of combat, because at the end of the day, whether you're in the water or on land, somebody might attack you. And you got to know what to do. And if somebody could be a man or a woman, you got to know how to defend yourself in either situation. Mood Makers Home Decor. Hello, thank you for joining. I don't think I've ever remember seeing your name. So thank you so much for watching. The sweet and savory is first of all, you new and funny as hell. The sweet and savory is always boring. I couldn't make it through it. She is boring though. I'm just tired of watching her throw tantrums. I really am. And you could tell that her and Greg have shouting matches, because when they went upstairs in their room, she kept trying to get Greg to be quiet, because Greg was going off and he was like, you don't want me to really show you what's really going on. I'm going to show them what the 80s like for real on this camera. Don't play with me. And she's like, stop it, like trying to control what he's putting out. And Greg, this ain't his first rodeo. He's been on this show before, so he know what he doing. He know what he doing. So moving on, the couples come out and they're doing this, sit down where everybody supposed to be talking and carrying on, and they out here making their own drinks. She always looks tired in every scene. Who, Sweet Tea? Child, probably all them damn hormones she taking trying to have a baby. They probably having sex 15 times a week trying to produce a baby. Who knows? But moving on, I thought it was hilarious that Dr. Mimi had that damn expensive ass bowl that they bought from this auction for the Med Gala. That damn. First of all, I wouldn't have paid. No, what did they pay? $4,000 or something asinine like that for that damn bowl. But I love how they are making a joke out of it, and they brought it, and the theme is yellow, so they put the lemons in the bowl, and then they were like, this has been an ashtray, now it's a lemon tray, it's been multi-purpose. So everybody goes to sit down. Simone thanks everybody for coming. She tells everybody, listen, we're going to sit down and ask some questions, and we're all going to respond. So the first question, which seems to be the only question, is how do you feel about exes coming around the group? So everybody pretty much says, I wouldn't be in support of an ex coming on. I just couldn't handle it. Dr. Jackie was like, me, for example, I wouldn't want my ex on around my group of friends. I couldn't handle it personally. Which I agree. I wouldn't be able to handle that either. Like, you're an ex for a reason. But also, when you're in a situation where it's a TV show and you're getting a check, sometimes things change. Circumstances change. you may change your mind because you like, okay, this also affects my livelihood. So in this situation with Quad and Greg, it is very unique, but and very different. So if in this case, you have to learn how to be cordial. You got to know how to keep it interesting, but you also have to know how to be cordial. Y'all can't be arguing and giving each other the stank eye every time you see each other. It just don't make no sense. It doesn't. Or the mental gymnastics she deals with being with Greg. Yeah. I just think Sweet Tea is just so ready to just pounce on somebody and beat them up. It's crazy. It's crazy. But most people are saying that they will have to exit. Dr. Mimi says that, basically, um, when it's obvious that two people are not done grieving the relationship, or after you've grieved the relationship, in this case where, there's two exes around in an environment around each other, if they haven't grieved the relationship and fully moved on, she doesn't believe that they should be in each other's presence until that has happened. And she says it's very clear that that is the case. That is not the case. They have not done the work, meaning Quad and Gregory, to be able to move forward in a healthy environment around each other. And I agree. I think that Quad is holding on to resentment, not because of Greg per se, but I think it's because the women have allowed Greg and Sweet Tea around, and she feels like they're fucking her money up because they tried to push her out of the group. She feels slighted because she feels like, okay, y'all was real quick to try to push me out of here and get rid of me, and I lose a check, and you're gonna bring my ex and his new wife on the show, but yet you could give two shits about me. How that work? So I think it's more of a principle thing for Quad, if I'm honest about how I feel for that. So then basically Toya begins to speak, and she says, you know what? I think all of us are mean girls. I think we're all mean girls. I think that, I don't know why Phaedra felt the need to leave and this, that, and the third. She's just like, I just feel like it's very convenient that we want to say that we're not mean girls, but we all have said things that we shouldn't have said. And we've said some fucked up shit. And I'm like, Toya, yes, all of y'all have said fucked up shit. You even said shit about Heavenly's mother that's deceased, and we're very insensitive. So you are a part of the people saying fucked up shit, ma'am. It is what it is. I just feel like the double standards on this show are quite rich. Quite rich. I think that I think Toya says things for shock value as well. I think Toya says stuff so that she can always be, what they call it, devil's advocate. That's what I think Toya does. But what do I know? What do I know? But moving on, Heavenly basically says that she feels like Sweet Tea was wrong. Quad, it is what it is. Sweet Tea was wrong. She feels like Sweet Tea is always popping off and talking shit, and don't nobody got time for that. And I agree. If I'm All of the women in this group, for the most part, are in their mid to late 40s and in their 50s and older. Nobody has time to be around somebody that's constantly popping off. You never know what their moods are going to be like from day to day, minute to minute. It's given very unhinged behavior that Sweet Tea has. And from my understanding, everybody, like Dr. Heavenly, all the doctors that are on the show, they have a lot to lose. And to be around somebody like her that has really nothing to lose, popping off and acting crazy and not managing her emotions well, she's a liability. I would not want to be around her, period. Because Dr. Heavenly has had way too many encounters, despite what people may think about her. They have had way too many encounters where they could have hauled off and been having a boxing up there tussling. It is what it is. But Eugene says Dr. G is a part of the group and he doesn't want to see him pretty much ousted from the group because or they throw him away over Quad. And Quad is like, you know what? I'm not trying to have y'all throw nobody away. I just want people to get look at my shoes and see that this isn't easy for me either. She was like, I just want clarity. It was okay when he was bringing her around, but now that I'm here, what say you about me? I just feel like, child, I just want everybody to just stop the BS. It's given very much BS. But let me make sure I'm clear on what Quad said, y'all. Um, with all that being said tonight, how do we reach out to Gregory, Letitia, Phaedra to let them know this is what Eugene is saying? That they can still be part of this group. How do we correct this going forward? I talked to Greg on our way here. And Contessa says, well, you guys are very calm. We talked to Greg and he was on fire. Now, I get that Greg was on fire. However, Greg is angry because things are not going his way. That's why Greg is angry. So let's clarify. Eugene was pretty much like he wants everybody to be a part of the group, even the people that left. But the problem is everybody is not in sync on this group. Phaedra, let's just cut her out. She don't need to be on this show. Phaedra does not fit in any shape, form, or fashion with anybody on this show. If she was actually in a relationship with a doctor, that would be one thing. But her storyline, her drama, her level of drama, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit the bill here. It just doesn't. I think Bravo just wanted her back on screen for some reason. But Phaedra, she don't need to be on Married to Medicine. I'm interested to see how she gonna integrate back into Housewives, to be honest. But Greg, Greg has to get himself together. Greg exhibits a lot of narcissistic traits. I think that Greg is and I hate saying narcissist because it's true. Everybody learned that word and now everybody is saying it. But I just feel like Greg has control issues. He really does. He has control issues. He wanted to control Quad. He wanted to control her uterus. He wanted to control how many times they was having sex. And I think that tries to become more in control when he feels out of control. Soon as he senses that something is not in his control, he begins to lash out like a child. And it's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. So Quad says sometimes no, Contessa says sometimes people have to leave the group to figure out what's real and what's not. And I'm like, Contessa, are you taking your own advice? Is that why y'all left? Did y'all leave because what you were talking about has always been fake and has never been real? You and your husband? Yeah. Over there lying, putting it all on Heavenly, and your husband was over here having inappropriate conversations with women in his DMs because he craving attention. Yeah. Is that why you left? Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. Now, Quad is just pretty much like it's two sides to every story type of stuff. And she's respecting everybody's opinions, everybody's perspective of Greg and Sweet Tea and how they want them around. And she's not over here trying to tell them, listen, I don't want them around. But we all know it's very obvious. Quad does not want Dr. G or his wife on this show. She feels like this is her show. This is her thing. It is what it is. But I love how Dr. Damon was like, everybody here is not perfect, but we're all good people. And he just wants everybody to get along. And I'm like, Doctor, what's your name? Dr. Daddy, you got to start with your wife, okay? You got to start with your wife. And Steve says it's real wisdom in the group, and to maintain that, they all just got to be honest and open. So they all say thank you. Simone thanks everybody for coming on the trip. And that's pretty much it, y'all. Listen, I'm gonna just say this. I am glad that Phaedra is done. She does not need to come back on this show. I really, really, really want Sweet Tea to get her actions together. I want her to get her emotions together. I think it's a lot. I think it's a whole lot. And I think that they really got to create some balance with these couples, because if Greg is going to continue to be on this show, he's going to have to realize that Quad has moved on. She is not tripping off of him. You have to be able to be in the same room with her without feeling jealous. I think he has that jealous feeling when, like, it's out of sight, out of mind when Quad is not there or they're not filming together. But when he's around her, I think he want that old thing back. I really do. I think he loves how fly Quad is. I think that Quad and Sweet Tea are so far different from each other. And I think that he gonna lose his shit if Quad becomes pregnant. I really do. I think he's gonna lose his shit because he's gonna be so upset that she didn't want to have any kids with him. And he's not going to be thinking about the fact that their marriage was so toxic. The fact that I remember that scene where Greg fell out in the middle of the floor and was pretending to foam. He was foaming at the mouth. Then he left the session. I wonder if that was Dr. Mimi and Steve that used to come over their house to help counsel them. I wonder. But I remember when he hauled off in that PT Cruiser and left the house pissed off. He doesn't know how to handle arguments or stress well at all. I also don't like how Sweet Tea keeps on speaking on Quad and Greg's marriage, and she wasn't there. You don't know who left who first. You don't know what you're talking about. That's one thing I'm never going to be doing, is speaking on some shit that they ain't never had nothing to do with me. Their previous relationship has nothing to do with you, Sweet Tea. Nothing. And I'm really tired of her. I'm just really tired of her bringing it up. But moving on, Mama Capricorn says Toya is the only one who addressed the elephant in the room. None of those women will want to go to work with their ex. Absolutely not. None of them would. And most of them said that when Simone asked the question. Contessa gives battered woman syndrome. Yeah. Something ain't right over there. Contessa is just a pathological liar to me, in my opinion. That's alleged in my opinion. Okay. And that's just that. Gregory lacks emotional intelligence. Yeah, I think I read that. Caramel Kisses said that. Yeah, I think so. I think so. I agree. Mama Capricorn says this is not a good look for Dr. G. No, Dr. G or Married to Medicine, because the way he speaks to Sweet Tea brings some validity to Quad's claims. Absolutely, especially the way he spoke to her in that room upstairs when he thought he was off camera. Sonia Goudry says especially before Sweet Tea. Yeah. Gabby Janice says it's funny because Really BTV brought up the same scene. Oh, Really B? What scene did she bring up? I haven't watched one of Really B's reviews in a while. I should go. Which scene did she bring up? Yeah, I haven't even been able to watch any of my favorite YouTubers' videos. I have got a lot to catch up on. Gabby Janice says, don't forget in season one, the ladies kept trying to sun Quad. Oh, yeah, they did. Listen, I believe wholeheartedly that they tried to get Quad off the show. They treated Quad badly. But Quad continues to get the last laugh on their ass. And it is what it is. But y'all, that's it. I ain't got no more. I'm gonna let y'all go to bed, child. I'm gonna try to sneak in one more video in the morning. I have a very early morning tomorrow, but I'm gonna try to get up and do Toya and Regine for y'all. But until then, thank you so much for watching. Thank y'all for hanging out with me, child. It is 1:06 a.m. and I got to be at my first appointment at 8:30. I'm gonna be up at 5:45. So yeah, I'm gonna take my black ass to bed. Thank you so much for watching. Please, please, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with anybody else that's watching this with us too. Also, to my members only, the package finally came in just yesterday for the giveaway. So be prepared for me to be on here tomorrow night in the members only chat to do my giveaway. Okay. So I hope y'all love it. I will actually have my son pick the name because I don't want to pick it myself. So we'll do it all on live, and I'll pick 3 names just in case somebody don't respond in a timely manner because I know y'all all don't be on there at the same time. But anyway, thank y'all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.